Right.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about hunting versus harvesting deer. If you're going out and hunting over a baited field or feeders, it's not really hunting to me. In my opinion, you're harvesting. I think hunting is a lost art, a lost sport. It's a rite of passage, a ritual, and not very many people hunt anymore.
They bait.
Yeah,
That's what they do.
They hunt for the antlers. I keep saying hunting, but when I was growing up, I had to learn how to deer hunt on my own. My daddy was a squirrel hunter. He loved squirrel hunting, squirrel meat. I was squirrel hunting at a very young age, but he didn't care for deer. So I had to learn myself how to deer hunt. What I had learned and observed, I started squirrel hunting, and I knew they had to have water in the mornings, in the evenings, and they had to have food. Well, over time I learned that the squirrels and deer ate the same thing. The deer needed water, food, and a place to bed. They loved them acorns off them big white oak trees, so did squirrels. And living in these Ozark Mountains, we had plenty of water, we had plenty of white oak trees with acorns. And what I got to noticing at a young age, when I would find these squirrels at the water source, I'd watch them and follow them back to where they were feeding. And I found these acorns everywhere, and then I got to looking, and I seen deer droppings everywhere. The deer were there. That's where I learned what they liked. And then I got to studying these deer over time, and I noticed they used the same path to go to the water every day. They would go to the water and
Welted into the.
Yeah, it's a path of least resistance. They would go. What they were doing where I was at was traveling a dry creek bed, a draw, whatever you want to call it. But they would follow this dry creek bed down to a spring-fed creek every morning, every evening. And then they'd go back up to the dry creek bed up top of the hill, and there was them white oak trees with them acorns, and they would feed there. Well, I got to trying to figure out where they were bedding. So I followed this dry creek until it came to a Y. And right in that Y is where them deer were bedding. There were places all over there where the deer were bedding. So I veered off and followed that Y a little farther, where it Y'd again, and there was a deer bedding in the Y. They was always in that fork of that dry creek bed. It's where the deer were bedding. And I also noticed during the fall and the spring, a natural breeze would flow up this dry creek bed. It would just go right up, and it was always a breeze going up this. So the deer could smell you if you was trying to come up that bed. They would be up here bedding or feeding, and they could smell you. So I learned to come in the back way, and then I could sneak right up on the deer. As long as it was quiet, they'd never hear me, and I'd just watch them. I could watch them. I'd watch them feed. I'd watch them walk down to the creek to drink, and then late in the evenings, I'd watch them go to their bed, and it was like clockwork every day, same thing. And the squirrels were there too. So I learned at a young age to follow the squirrel if you want the deer. You know, if you find their food, if you find their water hole, you can find them deer. You'll find the tracks. If you come across acorns, well, you're gonna have deer. Just watch your squirrels and see where they go. They'll take you right to the deer.
Yeah.
I just hope this might help somebody. It's kind of a short video. I could go into more depth, but that's just the basics of it.